So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the biggest lessons that I've learned so far on my trading journey. Most of you know my story. I started trading with a $2,000 account back in 2014, and I have now grown that into what today is a $1 million account that I consistently withdraw from. Okay, so I'm going to give you in this video the biggest lessons that I have learned thus far in this journey that got me to this point that I am now. Okay, the biggest takeaways out of this entire journey. Okay, so let's get right into it. So number one, you don't need to know what price will do next in order to make money. Okay, this is something that beginners struggle with immensely, is they feel like they have to know what price will do next. They have to know what's going to happen next, and you don't. You know what you need? You know what you absolutely need? You need an edge. That's it. An edge doesn't mean one scenario is certain to happen. That's not what an edge means. What is an edge? An edge is whenever you have one scenario that is more likely to occur over another scenario. That's it. That's what an edge is. But here's the deal. Wins and losses are distributed randomly. Okay? So you don't know if that next trade in front of you is going to be a win or a loss. You don't know that. The short-term results are random. And I know a lot of you hate that word, random. It's true. You can get mad about it if you want, but that's just the truth. The short term is random. Okay. The long term is where your edge displays itself. That's where you really show. That's where it really shows that you have an edge, is over the long term, which is why I always say you got to have that long-term perspective, which I believe is our next slide. But you need to know what price will do next in order to, you don't need to know what price will do next in order to make money. It's not necessary. All you need is an edge, and you need to consistently execute that edge. That's it. Quit focusing so much on the next trade in front of you being right or wrong. Okay. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. You just need to execute. That's it. And then it goes into our next point, which is long-term perspective is key, which goes into what I just said. You need to stop thinking about the trade in front of you, and you need to start thinking about the next 50 to 100 trades. If I was to think about this, if I was to execute this setup in front of me, and if I was to execute that setup over the course of the next 50 to 100 trades, what would the result be? Because as I was saying, the long-term perspective is where your edge shows itself, reveals itself. The short term is just completely random. You don't know if the next trade in front of you is going to be a win or a loss. As I was saying a second ago, wins and losses, they're distributed randomly. Okay. The long term is where you really start to see it play out, and you actually see, oh, okay, I really do got an edge here, right? So quit worrying about the short term. Focus on the long term. You got to develop that long-term perspective, okay? And next is focus more on psychology, and how do we develop that? Now, this also kind of ties together with the long-term perspective and all that stuff, because all that falls under the category of psychology. The long-term perspective, not focusing on the short term, all of that falls into psychology in that category. So, because psychology is more important than your ability to read a chart, okay? Psychology, up there with risk management. I would say risk management is the holy grail. Psychology is a close second. Is extremely important. Without a strong psychology, you will not succeed as a trader. I don't give a damn how well you can read the chart. I don't give a damn how many concepts that you understand, how fluent you are in your ability to know where price will go, right? If you have weak psychology, nothing will work. I don't care what you know. Nothing will work if you have weak psychology. Okay? You can't expect to have consistent results from the market when you're inconsistent in your mind. Really let that think in. Really think about what I just said. If you're inconsistent up there, what's in between your ears, you're not gonna, how can you expect to get consistent results from the market? Because what you are receiving from the market is simply a reflection of what's going on in between your ears. That's it. So you need to fix that. You need to fix what's going on in between your ears. You need to fix your psychology. How do we develop that though? Okay, we get it. We need to develop our psychology, but Mike, what are some practical steps that we can take? Well, practical steps. So most of the heavy lifting when it comes to psychology is going to be through data collection. You can back test. That's one way to go about doing it. You can forward test. You can do either or. You got to do one of them at least. So back testing is the much quicker way to get that data. Forward testing is a much slower way, but it really just comes down to you and how you want to go about doing it. But you need to back test. You need to get that data. You got to have that data. That's super important for developing that psychology. Because if you are confident in your trading style without having data available to you, then you're delusional. You're not confident. Okay? Because how are you confident if you don't know, if you don't have the data to tell you that this is going to work? So a lot of you are like, I can't execute. I have no confidence in my system. I can't execute. I just hesitate. Well, you're hesitating. Any sane person would if you don't have that data to support you. Of course you're going to hesitate. Of course that's going to be the case. If you weren't, well then as I was saying, then you'd be delusional. So that's having that data to tell you, because you can refer back to that data and you can see it's like it does something for you. Having that data, having those code hard numbers in front of you telling you, hey, if I was to execute this edge over the large series of trades, I'm coming out on top. That's how you develop a long-term perspective, which was what I was just talking a moment ago. Remember what I was talking about a moment ago where I said the short term is random. Quit focusing on it. You need to think over the course of 50 to 100 trades. How do you develop that? That is through data collection. Point blank, period. It's that simple. Data collection does that. That's what did it for myself. That's what's done it for all the rest successful traders as well. Okay? It is through data collection, because you can have those numbers in front of you and you can see that. You can literally see that in front of you from that data, and it's telling you, if I was to execute and if I was to stay disciplined, if I could get myself to stay disciplined, be patient and let the numbers play out, you're going to be profitable. You're going to come out on top. That's all you need. That's the key thing here to developing psychology is data collection is the most important thing. Okay. Another key thing when it comes to developing psychology is you need very clear rules. Okay. You need to know exactly what you're looking for when you go into the market. There should be no room for thinking. You should know exactly when to enter, when to exit, where your draw is, all that stuff. You need to be very clear to the nitty gritty detail what you need to do here. So it removes all thinking, just pure execution. You see your setup, you got the data to support you. You know exactly what determines if you enter and exit. You execute over and over and over and over again. No room for thinking. Very clear rules, established rules. You need the data. What else? Make sure your system. Now this is kind of a later slide that I put in a different slide, but it ties into psychology, so I'm just going to put it in here as well. Is keep it simple. Keep your trading plan simple. Tons of traders, they love to overcomplicate stuff. They love to overcomplicate trading. It's not rocket science, guys. You do it. You try to make it rocket science because of your ego, because you feel like it can't be that simple. It can be that simple. And the majority of traders, they don't make it simple. And the minority of traders keep it simple. And those minority of traders are the ones that succeed. Really think about what I just told you. Everybody, all the beginners think the same way. They think, dang, it can't be this simple. So then they go seek out all this complex mumbo jumbo. And that's how most people look at it. And that's, the 90% looks at it. Trading can be simple. It's extremely simple, stupidly simple. But most people can't tame their ego enough to let it be that simple. And that's why it's a big reason why a lot of people fail as well. Again, it's that ego that holds you back. So there's that as well. Have a very simple strategy. So far, what have we concluded in regards to psychology and developing it? You need the data collection. You need to have that data. You need to have very clear rules. Remove no room for thinking. You need to have a simple system. Now, meditation. Are there traders that don't meditate that are successful? Absolutely. I understand that. And meditation alone won't make you successful. You got to do all the other stuff that I mentioned, because all the other stuff is going to do the heavy lifting, but meditation does indeed help, because you're becoming very aware of your inner dialogue. Okay. You're learning how to control your mind whenever you meditate. Okay. Because when you meditate, you're focusing on being present. You're focusing on being mindful. And guess what? The more you meditate, the more you practice being mindful, the better you get at it. You get good at what you practice at. And that skill that you develop of becoming mindful of your thoughts, it is translated over into trading. Because we all have those urges when we're trading to go off course, to stray from the plan, to do something stupid. We all do. Even myself, I've been doing this for a very long time. I made a lot of money. I still have that urge to, at times, break my rules. But you know what I do? I become mindful when that is occurring, and then I take back control. And that skill was developed through meditation. Because even if you have all the data, you have the clear plan, there's going to be times where you start to stray off because you're a human being. You're not perfect. So that's going to happen at times. And those times where that happens, meditation takes care of it. Okay? Meditation takes care of it, and you can then reel yourself back in. You can realize in that moment, hey, I'm starting to go off course. You become mindful of that, and then you recognize your why. You recognize what you really need to be doing. You recognize that you need to follow a plan, because going off course and acting like a degenerate isn't going to bring you no good results in the long term. You realize that, you become mindful of that, and then you go back to trading the plan. Meditation helps you with that. That's the thing. You also need to keep an emotional journal. Okay. Now, I know a lot of people, they don't like this at all. They're like, what, like a diary? Yep, like a diary, basically. You know, a lot of people aren't going to do this, but it does help. You need to become very aware of your day-to-day thought patterns, your day-to-day feelings whenever you are trading. And whenever you have it down on paper and you're noting it in real time, whenever it's occurring, you start to become very familiar with yourself and what makes you tick. And like, you also notice, like, certain times of the day, you might go off hinge. You might start to go on tilt at certain times, or certain things trigger you, and you can become aware of that. And then it goes back into becoming mindful. It helps you become mindful of it. So it's very important that you have that emotional journal and you get that down on paper. Don't bottle it up, because whenever you bottle it up, well, then it spills all over your trading. So that's very key. So you need to focus more on psychology, and I gave you the recipe right there. And so yeah, get a mentor. This rubs a lot of people the wrong way, because it comes down to ego. And I get some people, they've been burned by gurus, so then they kind of have a bad taste in their mouth about mentors. So there's that as well. But let me tell you this right now. I would not be where I am today if I did not have mentors. I would not be where I am right now. I would still be working that dead-end job, because that was my reason for getting into trading. I wanted to escape the rat race. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted more out of life. And I woke up every single day miserable. Every single day I was miserable to walk in there and clock in and do that same soul-killing shit day after day after day. And that's what drove me to actually become a trader. I knew I had to succeed or I would die at that dead-end job. And it ties into this, because if I didn't have a mentor, guess what? I'd still be there. To this very day, I would still be there if I didn't have a mentor. I can guarantee that. I absolutely would. Now, I'm not saying you can't be successful without one. You can, but it's going to take you a lot longer. It's going to take you a hell of a lot longer. So why not take somebody who has what you desire, learn under their wing, take all the knowledge that they have acquired over the years, and then they can hand it down to you. I mean, it's common sense, guys. You're going to progress so much quicker than if you try to do it yourself. So drop the ego. Drop the ego. Yes, and again, I understand some of you have been burned by gurus, but guess what? Not everybody has malintentions. There are good educators out there. There's more bad than good, of course. There are more bad people in the trading industry than good. I'm not saying there isn't. There's a lot of sharks out there. But there are good people, and you got to keep your focus on the good. You got to keep your focus on the positive, and that's what a lot of you guys don't do. Whenever I made a tweet like this the other day, and so many of the comments on there. So many of the comments on there were just pure negative, like, oh, nobody wants to help. They just want your money, and they're all scammers, and everybody's so focused on the negative. They're so focused on, and guess what? What you focus on, you receive more of. If you're only focusing on the negatives, then you're only going to get negative crap back. But guess what? You know what you need to focus on? You need to focus on the solutions. Yeah, there's a lot of scammers out there, absolutely. But guess what? There's also good people who want to help you, who are willing to extend their hand. You need to focus on that. Focus on the people that are actually willing to help you. Don't focus on all the con artists. Focus on the people that want to actually help you succeed. They're out there, and they're willing to extend their hand. Just like myself, I'm willing to mentor you. I have a free Discord chat. It doesn't cost you a dime to join that chat. I have educational material in there. I post a free watch list every single day in there. There's also tons of other traders in that you can connect with, and you can have that community around you. And then I do have the paid mentorship as well, but you don't got to even join that. You can learn for free. You can get mentorship. You're not going to get the same level of mentorship for free. Of course, you can expect that. But if you do want to take it to a little bit of a deeper level, and you kind of want, because a big thing that I do in the mentorship that a lot of people, in my paid mentorship that a lot of people find helpful, is having that accountability. Like having somebody that calls you out on your shit whenever you're fucking up, whenever you're starting to stray from what you do. That's what a lot of people actually join my mentorship for, is to have that person holding them accountable, because that's what I do. I keep my mentorship pretty small because I'm able to cater to each individual person and give them that individual attention that I know they need to succeed. So I stay up to date. So I'm always, keeping them in check about what they need to be doing, staying accountable. And that's a big thing. That's what a real mentor does. Okay. So you could join the free Discord, or if you want to join the mentorship, my mentorship come next year, I'm going to leave a link to the waiting list in the video description, and you can join that as well if you want. Okay. But it's very important because you got to have that guidance, or you need to have that guidance because it's essential to your success. Again, I wouldn't be where I am today without mentors. It's so important. And again, this is something I was just talking about in regards to psychology, but you need to keep it simple, because complex systems, they lead to analysis paralysis. Okay. When you have so many moving parts, you have so many different things on your chart telling you to do so many different things in there, it can lead to analysis paralysis, because you got one signal right here, and then you got a different signal right there, and it's just a mess. But when you have like very simple rules, you have very little moving parts, it makes it much easier to execute over and over again, because you don't have that problem. You don't have the analysis paralysis. So this is also a key fundamental part of building your psychology, is keeping it simple. Simplicity is a key part to building strong psychology. Remember that. Trade small. So risk management is the holy grail, because that's what keeps you in the game. And as long as you're in the game, you can continue to learn. You can continue to make progress. So trading small, having good risk management, it's essential to your success. If you're a beginner and you're just now starting to trade with live money to the market, I recommend don't go higher than 0.5%. Don't risk losing more than 0.5% of your total overall capital on any single trade. Okay. So for example, if you have, let's say, a $2,000 account, what would 0.5% of that be? That'd be $10. So you can't lose any more than $10 on any single trade. Okay. I'm not saying you got to stay at that level of risk, but that's where you need to begin. And what you need to do is you need to just simply build a cushion with 0.5%, and you need to be consistent with that first. You need to get used to that sizing, and then you're going to slowly, gradually work your way up. Once you build a cushion with 0.5%, you're going to go up to 1%, and you're going to do the same thing. Now, you really don't even got to go higher than 0.5%. If you want, you don't got to go higher than 1%. Most people don't go higher than 1%. But if you do want to go up to 2%, well, then you're going to do the same exact process. You're going to trade with 1% for a while. You're going to build that cushion. You're going to get comfortable with that size. You're going to get used to it. And then you're going to bump it up to 2% once you're ready. Once you build that proper cushion, go to 2%. And I don't recommend going higher than 2%. There's just no need to. Like at that point, it gets kind of wild, but that's the process that you would do. So you need to start very small. Quit trying to rush it. I've said it in so many times. Rushing the process is the slowest way to reach your goals, right? It's funny because, you're trying to do the opposite. You're trying to get there quicker, but in the process, you actually push it back farther. If the fastest way to reach your goals is to take it small, take it slow, and just slowly work your way up. Slow and steady wins the race every single time. Okay? So that's the thing, guys. Think of it like this. In regards to like bumping up your trading size, because a lot of you think right now you're watching this video is like, yeah, I hear you, Mike, but I can handle it. I know what I'm doing. I got my strategy now. I can trade 2%. I can go right in. You say that when you're watching this video, but it's a little bit different when you actually got the trade on, and say you're in a drawdown where you have like 2 to 3, 4 losses in a row, which is very common with all systems, having that little losing streak like that. That's nothing. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen to you. And if you're risking 2% and you take those consecutive L's like that, it's going to start to weigh on your mind. It's going to start to weigh on you. Okay. It's going to, psychologically, you're going to have a hard time handling it. I can handle it because I've been doing this for a long time and I slowly worked my way up. So I'm at a point where I can handle that, but you may not be. I like to use the analogy of, let's take somebody who is just now starting to lift weights, right? Let's say this individual, he is, 100 pounds soaking wet, right? He walks into the gym. Is he going to immediately go in and try to lift the same exact weight as, say, a veteran in that gym has been lifting for 20 years, who is, putting up insane weight, is he going to go in there and just start lifting the same amount of weight as that veteran lifter? No, he's going to start slow. He's going to start small. He's going to start with, some small dumbbells. He's just going to slowly work his way up. He's going to get used to that size, or he's going to get used to that weight. And then once he's used to that weight, he's going to slowly work his way up. Or he's going to be able to do a little bit more reps. With time, he's going to start being able to do more reps. And then he's going to bump up the weight. Then he's going to do the same thing. He's going to slowly work his way up, being able to do more reps with that weight. He's going to bump it up some more. And he's going to progress. He's going to progressively start to up that weight with time. It's the same thing with trading size. So because if he was to just go in and try to lift the same as that veteran lifter, well, then he wouldn't be able to do it. So he just wouldn't be able to handle that weight. And it's the same thing whenever, psychologically with his trading size here. You're not going to be able to handle 2% right away. You got to work up to it. So that's my advice. Start small, build the buffer, and then slowly work your way up. Boom. Covered that. Trade small. Paper trade. I just lost a lot of people. A lot of people just clicked off, right? Because again, everybody wants results quick. Now, as soon as I said that, you're saying, no, Mike, paper trading, it's not real emotions, Mike. Paper trading, you build bad habits. I've heard all the excuses. Like, there's nothing you can't tell me in regards to paper trading. It's the same thing I hear all the freaking time. But you know what that translates to? You know what I hear whenever I see you say that? I want results right away. I want results right away, and I'm not willing to take it slow. Because I'm impatient. I want to get rich quick. That's what a lot of you tell. That's what I hear when you say that you don't want to paper trade. I understand that that emotional component is not in play with paper trading. And I understand some people build bad habits, which is their own fault whenever you build bad habits doing that. But here's the deal. If you can't make it happen with a paper trading account, you damn sure ain't going to make it happen with a real account. So why not just save yourself that step? Make it happen on paper first. And also another thing here is it allows you to get used to your trading platform, because a lot of beginners, they go in trading live money. They don't even know how to operate their freaking platform. And then they lose a bunch of money just because they don't know how to calculate their lot size. They don't know how to do none of that crap because they didn't do it beforehand. And you have that option to in a risk-free environment. So why not do it? Why not actually know how to operate your platform, know how to figure out your lot size and all this stuff beforehand, before getting into the real market and making all those silly mistakes beforehand? Because in those silly mistakes, what happens is it messes with your psychology, because now you're already down to do the silly mistakes, and then you're just spiraling out of control. That happens to a lot of people. And you can avoid that by paper trading first and getting that shit down. But nobody talks about that, do they? Nope, it's not real emotions, and all that BS. All right, I see right through it. Okay? This helps you do that. And also it helps you find a system that you're comfortable with. It helps you experiment around with different strategies and actually find a system that suits you, that suits your style. It gives you time to do that before you actually go into the live market. So there's so many benefits to paper trading. So I recommend at least 6 months consistently profitable on paper before you actually step into the live market. Once you got 6 months under your belt, then you can slowly dip in with 0.5% and then work your way up. That's how you do it. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't rush it. Don't rush the process. Even though myself, because some people think you gotta have those mess ups to improve as a trader. I don't think you gotta blow up an account. I know traders who haven't blown up accounts who are successful. Yes, I blew up an account my first year. I blew up a $2,000 account, and it sucked. And yes, it did help me change, because because to me, $2,000 back in 2014, that was a lot of money to me. I was broke, and losing that, it hurt very badly. So some people, they make the argument that you need that pain to improve. Yeah, to a good degree, but I don't think you need to, blow up an account though to do that. You're going to have plenty of setbacks along the way. That's unavoidable. Like, you're going to have losing streaks. You're going to have times where your psychology is tested and you're going to need to persevere. You're going to need to keep pushing. Like, you're going to have challenging times. No doubt about it. I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying you got to lose all your freaking money to do that. Like, that's stupid. You don't got to blow up your account to become a good trader. So you can just avoid that step right there about, doing what I'm telling you right here. If I could go back in time, this is what I would do. Like, this is what I would do, and I wouldn't have blown up that account, and I wouldn't have to start all the way back from scratch again. Okay? So take that advice. Trading is mainly waiting. So this is the thing. Like, trading is the most, like probably the most inactive career path in the world. Like, because most of it is just waiting. It's very little time is actually spent executing if you're doing it correctly. Okay. Because high quality plays, they don't happen left and right. Okay. A lot of what's happened in the market is it's just noise. Okay. And when I say it's just noise, it's because it's not lining up with your trading plan. So you really shouldn't be too concerned with it. And in the waiting is where most people screw it all up, because again, they got to be doing something. They got to be getting that dopamine hit from gambling. They just got to be having that action. And a lot of people, another reason they do this is because a big group of people is they have none of that excitement in their personal lives. Like they just wake up, go to work, repeat. And so, trading is like that source of excitement for them. So when you tell them that most of trading is waiting, that you shouldn't be trading every single day, then it just rubs them the wrong way. I mean, it's just they go off, they get all emotional, and it's because, they live a boring life. And then this is like their source of excitement. They need that dopamine hit. They need that thrill. And that's what it really is. And then they cover it up and they say, I'm serious about being a consistently profitable trader. It's cope. You're just a gambler. You're a gambler. And you use this, like you use the title of a trader, to hide your gambling addiction. There is so many people that is the case for. So many. It just makes them feel better about it. Like, oh, I'm a trader. No, you're a fucking degenerate gambler. Let's be real. Okay. Trading is mainly waiting and not doing anything. It's mainly waiting for your signals. And in that waiting, you need to be able to control yourself. All right. Use the psychology tips that I gave you. Also, whenever you're waiting, it's important to utilize price alerts, like set price alerts around key levels. So you are able to redirect your focus elsewhere, like maybe on your back testing, maybe studying video lessons. So you don't have to watch every single little tick on the chart. You set price alerts around key levels. Once that price alert gets hit, well, then you can go back in and reassess later and see if you have a setup. And then also utilize orders, limit orders. So you can get tagged in, and then you can just, let the trade play out. Because watching every little single tick, guys, it isn't going to do anything for you. It's just going to make you emotional. So my advice, just redirect your focus. It's the key thing. Redirect your focus while you're waiting. Okay. Because, myself, what I do, yes, I draw up charts for my mentees. I give my analysis, but whenever I'm not doing that, or whenever I'm not teaching, I'm back testing, I'm watching videos from ICT, or I'm making other content, for maybe my YouTube or stuff like that. I'm basically redirecting my focus. And this is how I go about doing it. Set price alerts, set orders, and then you can redirect your focus later once you actually get something that's interesting. Trading is mainly waiting. Very little time is actually spent in the execution side of things. Okay. It's just mainly waiting and doing nothing, waiting for your signal. Quality over quantity. Again, it goes back to what I was just saying in the previous slide. You don't got to be trading all the time. Quality pays. Patience pays. Okay. Beginners, they love to trade a lot. Rookie traders love to trade a lot. And the professional, if you study most professionals, they don't really take that many trades. Now, there are exceptions, of course. I'm not saying there aren't, professional traders who trade several times a day. There's plenty. But I'm saying it's a common similarity you see between the top traders is they don't really trade that much. And a common similarity that you see with beginners and unprofitable traders is they trade all the freaking time. They're taking like 10 plus trades a day. They're just going crazy on the charts, right? And that's a common similarity that you'll see. So, take note on that pattern that you see there. Take accountability. This is so important. I can't stress the importance enough. The second that I became a profitable trader, I started to become a profitable trader was the second I took accountability. I was just telling you guys, I blew up my first trading account in 2014. And what a lot of people will do whenever they have a big mess up like that and they lose their money, you know what they'll do? They'll put the blame on somebody else. They'll be like, damn it, that fucking guru, he taught me wrong. Damn it, these retail trading concepts, we hear that one a lot. And then they always try to put the blame on somebody else. Dang it, my parents. Dang it, my, whatever it is, my friends, whatever it is. They always want to put that blame on somebody else. And the second that, because you know what I did whenever I lost all that money? I got real with myself. I said, Mike, you're a degenerate fucking gambler. Look what you just did. That 2K, as I was saying, that's a lot of money to me because I was broke. I didn't have much money. And I lost it just because I couldn't control my emotions. That's it. I couldn't control my emotions. I revenge traded and I just spiraled out of control and I lost all that money. It was nobody's fault but mine. It wasn't my mentor's fault. It wasn't nobody's fault. I was the one who pulled the trigger. I was the one who let my emotions get the best of me. I was the one who went on tilt. That was all me. That was all me. And that result of having that blown up account was my fault. Most people can't say that to themselves. And that's why they stay in this loop of just mediocrity. The second I did that, it allowed me to look at my errors and progress in the right direction. Okay? Nobody gives this advice, like literally, because it doesn't sell well. It doesn't sell well as having like this magic system that's going to solve all your problems, 100% win rate, like all the other gurus want to sell. This doesn't sell well, but it's real. But it's real, and it's a key thing to progressing in your trading career. It's what's going to allow you to progress. Take accountability. You failed because of your actions. It's all your fault. Accept that and then prosper. Don't compare yourself to others. It is you versus you. You got your own journey. Look at others' results like my results. I know some of you guys, you see me post these, these 20K winning trades, 30K winning trades. And some of you are inspired, which is the right mindset to have, of course, because it's just a reflection of what's possible for you once you get the hang of this. All right, I'm no one special. Again, you guys just heard it. I started with $2,000 and I worked myself up to this point. So it's available to you as well. It's just a matter of compounding and being patient. That's all it is. At the end of the day, it's just compounding and being patient. So don't compare, and then there's the other group of traders that see that and they feel discouraged. Like, man, my 100 gain ain't nothing, or my $50 gain ain't nothing. My $10 gain ain't nothing. Stop doing that. You're comparing your chapter 1 to like my chapter 50. Okay, I've been doing this a long time. All right, I've been growing my account. Like, it took me a long time to get to this point. It did. And now a lot of you are beginners and you see this and you're just comparing your gains to mine. How does that make sense? You're not at the same point in your journey yet. You'll get there if you're patient. You're patient. You stay disciplined. You follow the advice that I actually give you. You'll get there eventually. It'll happen for you. But it takes patience. You need to focus on you, because every single trader, whether it's myself or any trader that you look up to, started with small gains like that as well. I started with, $10, $20 gains. The same exact place. I started off doing that as well. So this didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time. And you got to understand that. It's going to take you a lot of time. But it's you versus you. Be proud of your milestones. Be proud of your progress. Because one day, it's going to start to add up. It's going to start to compound. And you're going to see what I'm talking about. Don't compare yourself. Be inspired, because like the results that you see me post, it's all possible for you. It's possible for you. You just got to be patient. But yep, I think that about covers it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you later.